but I'm not going to worry about it. Welcome everyone, or I'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody comes in. I was not expecting to do this, but I'll be honest. I used to do a lot of live streams with my other channels. Well, mainly my 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗶𝗺𝗃 Wellness channel was the first channel I ever had. And I felt fine at the beginning doing those. Now I am feeling a bit different. I'm trying to get the chat up here in case people come in. All right, there's the chat. Okay. Anyway, I was actually hesitant to do this, and it's funny because I did this for so many years and I had a good following in my first channel, and everything dropped off. And so my plans changed for today, as you saw, if you might have seen in the description, and I was guided to do a live stream. And I've been hearing a lot of messages of stepping out of your comfort zone and, like, you know, being your authentic self and doing things differently, whatever. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do a live stream now. And like, my hair is not really the way I wanted, whatever. I wasn't ready for this. If you see the flashes, there's lightning, and I'm in a hotel right now. There's a lamppost back there. So there's a reason why that bright light is there. But anyway, I could try to hide it, but we'll see how that goes. They may want me to keep that there. If it's bothering you, then don't worry about it. It's the least of your worries. Anyway, so I was guided. Oh, my poor Mary plant. I had a lot of weird stuff happen as I was preparing for this live stream, and unfortunately my Mary plant kind of got injured here, so I'm just tending to her at the moment. Plant that my partner gave me. Anyways, I was saying, I was guided to come on here and do a live channeling from the Legion of Angels, as the title indicates, for the July update for the collective. So I have no script. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm just going to at least get to center. You can get to center with me. And we're just going to get into a deeper state of surrender, a meditative state, because I'll honestly, like, I'm feeling these nerves. It's not just from me, but it's from a lot of you, whoever comes across this. And even if you're not watching this live, if this is not live, you're watching the replay. If this is not like 9-something p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, July 11th, 2026. Yeah, so I have no idea what's going to come through, but I'm just going to trust in God and the Legion of Angels, my divine ascended masters, my guides, because apparently something needs to get out there for the collective. And we're going to see what transpires through this channeling. So first off, we're going to just get into a more calmer state of being. We're going to just align with the Legion of Angels, with God, with the Ascended Masters, and we're just going to allow ourselves to be in a state of complete, I'm hearing compassion, forgiveness and understanding. That's kind of weird. It's already coming through. I'm hearing very strong divine feminine energy. And so I'm going to start with saying like a little prayer. I usually do this when I'm doing readings for myself. I used to do this in my other live streams. So Holy Spirit, archangels, Legion of Angels, guardian angels, divine ascended masters, divine ancestors, the order of the seraphim, the order of Melchizedek, I call upon you with grace, gratitude, and humility to infuse your energies into myself, into this channeling, into this reading, into this session, into this live stream, and to all those who come across it, to all those who have been called here to receive the messages in which I am about to disseminate. I call upon all these entities to allow me to speak truth and only divine truth, and to channel whatever important messages that this collective here needs to hear at this time for the month of July. And even if it's not the month of July, it could be whenever you come across this live stream, because the replay will be uploaded to my channel. I'm I'm asking all of you to please calm my nerves and please help me to trust in my own inabilities, because I haven't done this in a long, long time. And to allow me to be a channel of your peace, to be a channel of divine truth, to be a channel of healing. I call upon specifically Archangel Raphael, grace, gratitude, and humility, to allow me to channel the emerald green ray of light onto those who come across this video, to bring about an abundance of peace, an abundance of time, an abundance of calmness, an abundance of tranquility, not only to myself, but to this space and to those who are watching, or even watching the playback. I also call upon Archangel Michael with grace, gratitude, and humility to dispel any negativity, any fear, any doubt, any uncertainty, any confusion with whatever comes through. May my energies be protected as I channel the messages. May those who are coming across these channeling be protected. And may they receive with open eyes, open ears, and open heart the divine truth that will be coming through me in this channeling. I pray that it illuminates their well-being and it helps them with their spiritual growth, their alchemical evolution, and with whatever it is that they are going through right now. I'm hearing a lot of struggles that a lot of you are undergoing. I also call upon Archangel Uriel, the light, the fire of God, to enhance my ability to lead and to boost my confidence and courage in providing the channeled messages for this reading. May you illuminate those, and may you inspire those who are watching this, and may you also bless them with their own epiphanies from whatever comes through these messages. I also call upon Archangel Jophiel with grace, gratitude, and humility to disseminate and to channel messages of joy, of blessings, of beauty, as she is the beauty of God, and to disseminate your pink ray of luminosity to those who are watching this. May it boost their vitality, but it also may boost their joy and their happiness and their sense of self. May it encourage them to love themselves the way God loves them. And may it give them a sense of hope. May it give them a sense of compassion, self-love, self-care, and understanding, so that they can see the beauty in their own lives and the beauty around them despite what they are going through. Thank you, God and the Holy Spirit, for blessing me with these gifts and for allowing me to channel the messages in which this collective needs to hear. Amen. And so it is. Okay, so I feel now I feel their presence now. So I'm now going to tap into the Akashic records, and I asked for the rites of passage to tap into with the assistance of Archangels Raguel and Raziel to discover the mysteries in these Akashic records and to disseminate the wisdom and the divine knowledge, divine truth of what is in these records, what are in these records. Wow. Okay, I'm hearing beware the wrath of God. Now, I find that interesting because usually some people don't think that God could be that wrathful. However, we are made in God's image, and I know all of you, including myself, can sometimes be in a state of anger and frustration. And so that first message coming through, it's not something to scare anyone. It's not for anybody to doubt even. It's not for anybody to be fearful of. It's because God does get frustrated and angry, right? You know, he's an all-loving God, but again, we're made in his image, so we have all of these emotions, we have all these feelings, we have all these things about us. But it's not to really get us on the path of destruction. You choose to get on the path of destruction if you allow anger, frustration, and resentment to compound you, to sit on you like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, to allow you to be so, I'm hearing covered in dirt, be so consumed by the weight of these low vibrational energies. It's a matter of these types of emotions are for us to really transmute into love, transmute into light. The highest frequency is love, right? And yeah, while this is like a spiritual channel, I'm going above and beyond that because we're really learning how to just allow peace into our hearts, into our minds, into our souls, so that we don't feel these darker energies. Now, it is a part of us. We have to acknowledge the shadow side of each of us. It's like in Star Wars, you have Darth Vader and you have Luke Skywalker. You can't have one without the other. But the light always wins. But it depends on whether we're going to choose whether the light wins or not. And so what happens is I know I've been in a state like that where the anger, frustration, the bitterness, and just like the angst just wants to ride roughshod on my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit. But that doesn't really make me feel good, right? And then what I've had to learn, especially recently, especially with what I've been through and how I was thinking that I would be in a different state of my journey than I am now. But it's allowing myself to gain the wisdom to better understand and to be more in the flow, in a state of surrender, to really trust where God is leading me. It's like in my Instagram post that I put about the weekly energies this past week, about the energy of the sea turtle spirit animal. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram to get like weekly readings, their energy readings for the week based off of the spirit animals that I am being called to channel for that week, and it will help us navigate the energies for that week. And so this week is the sea turtle, and the sea turtle is really talking about allowing ourselves to be in a state of flow. And it's very, very hard to do that because we are programmed to follow a particular rule set, to follow the logic that has been set by man, not by God, to live life a certain way, to have these jobs, to go to college, to have these degrees, to have this type of lifestyle or this type of bank account, this type of credit, whatever that is. And this is not to say I'm condoning anything about higher education, like college or whatever, anything like that, or degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so I have that. I went to college and everything. So it's a matter of really understanding what is really right for us, what causes to be in a greater state of flow despite everything that's going on around us. And I'm hearing a lot of this energy of compassion. I get like Archangel Jophiel and Zadkiel in this, and Sandalphon too. There's a very strong energy of forgiveness. And look, I've been there, done that. There are some people, family members, like other individuals where, and even people who never really did me that dirty, but there was something that just like really ruffled my feathers and maybe pissed me off, or something that I didn't fully understand. And it's kind of like, what I didn't realize is that when I had this sitting in my heart space and I was just questioning it, you know, why would this person do that? Why would this person say this, or like hide this from me, or, you know, assume something, or not tell me the truth, or whatever it is. And it wasn't like they really did something that was horrendous. It was more so of like, sometimes people hold the truth because of fear, right? Sometimes people beat around the bush because of that. They're afraid of judgment. And I started to realize that even though I'm a very forgiving person, when I was holding that in my heart space, I was realizing that the energy of lack of forgiveness was starting to form in my mind, my body, my soul, but especially here. If you think about it, okay, why do you think a lot of people have heart issues? Stress causes that, like a poor diet causes that. You start feeling tension. If you start really like the anger and the frustration, the bitterness, and just the angst and just the stress, the anxiety, really pay attention in your body where that starts from. A lot of you, it is the head, migraines, like really insane migraines. Some of you are experiencing, a lot of the others of you, it's coming from here, your heart space, the chest area. You know, if you think about it, the head and the heart get affected. That's something significant right there, because that is supposed to tell us when we are in these states of duress, a tremendous amount of stress. I'm getting a lot of you can't sleep well. You're not sleeping well at night. There's something's erratic. I'm seeing like short circuits of wires and things like that, like your spiritual wires. When you start realizing that your head and your chest area are affected by these types of lower vibrational energies, that is a huge disconnect between the heart and the mind, right? There's a huge imbalance there. And what I see with that is there's a bigger imbalance between the masculine and the feminine energies. We each have those energies within us. This is not male, female stuff. It is energy. Masculine energy, the courage, the confidence, the boldness, taking risks, taking action, not really hesitating when your intuition tells you to do something, and you trust that when you do it, it's going to lead you to where God needs to be, right? It's a matter of like being in the world but not of it. You are living life on this earth in a human vessel, but as a spirit, a soul in a human vessel, right? But the divine masculine energy knows that there are bills that have to be paid, and that we live in this 3D world, and there's materialism, and there's things to have, like the sustenance of our vitality, of our well-being, right? But a divine masculine does not force, does not fake, does not try to push so hard and have a billion jobs and like start panicking when they can't pay a bill, or they're coming close to the end of the month and there's like they've got these things piling up. They don't panic. They don't give in to the stresses of the real world. And then with the divine feminine energy, that energy is more compassionate, more understanding, more at peace, more at ease, more in a state of flow, which is that energy of the sea turtle. Sea turtles, they swim in water. Water is about emotions. Water energy is feminine energy. It's like, it's so funny how today I wore my sea turtle bracelets. They're on my shop on my website if you're interested in these. The driftwood ombre one that I have here is for patience, divine patience. And then the one for divine flow is my lagoon ombre turtle bracelet, right? To help with the state of flow. The patience of the sea turtle, the flow of the sea turtle. And then I have the third one, my green, my kelp ombre one. Okay, the lighting isn't that great, but it doesn't matter. You can go to my website. There's a link in the description box if you're interested in this, to help you connect more with your feminine energy, to help with your stress levels, to help you to feel more calm, to be in a state of surrender. I know when God told me, he told me to wear this outfit today, my hot and spicy shirt with some burnt orange shorts. And I wore for the first time, because I created these the other day, the peace turtle, the divine flow turtle, but here is the divine wisdom turtle, okay? But the peace, the patience and the flow that I had here as I was doing my walk, because there was a huge change in the schedule. My partner and I had something, you know, we were going to go with the flow for the day, and we were like going to go to a park and walk around and things like that. And then, you know, he's kind of on, I'm not going to exactly say what he's doing. It's not anything bad. Let's say he has a very, very strong gift in the creative arts. And he's starting to jump on the opportunities that are being presented to him to follow where his heart wants to go as far as profession goes, as far as his creative talent is leading him towards. And so, you know, we talked about, I said, hey, do what your heart tells you. And so it's like, now God's like, well, in the meantime, now you're going to do this live stream. And so I'm walking around, and, you know, there was all this other stuff going on, you know, my relationship with him, and then everything else going on in my life, his life, you know, all these things, the spiritual attacks, the uncertainty of things, you know, we're currently living in a hotel because we're still really trusting in God to find us the right home for us, right? We're not trying to force that. And so, you know, I'm going back into having, you know, standing up a third business and a third YouTube channel, another channel, my website, my healing bracelets and my services and all of these things. And I'm having to start from ground zero. And that has been even challenging for me. And, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but there's always a frustration that comes with it, right? There's always something where, people aren't going to, we as humans don't really expect, or we expect things to go a certain way. And when they don't, that's where the frustration comes in. That's where the angst comes in. And for some people, it's full on anger. But then that also leads to stress and anxiety and uncertainty, the unknown. It's like the moon energy. The moon's out there, it's bright, right? It has sheds a light, but it's not, it's supposed to illuminate certain things in its path. It doesn't illuminate the whole speck of land like the sun does, right? When during the day, the sun's out and you can see practically everything, right? But when the moon is out, you don't really see that far ahead. And so that's trusting in the unknown. That's also trusting the emotion, but allowing the beauty of that uncertainty to consume you as opposed to the fear to consume you. To allow the beauty of that illumination to kind of be like these little breadcrumbs that lead to something that actually enhances your own divine intelligence. And it also gives you, it's kind of like clues as to, it's illuminating your well-being, in which what I do with regards to understanding who you really are. And that no matter if you ever walk on a path and you want everything dictated to you, you want it to look a certain way, and you're expecting it to be a certain way, you're going to be disappointed. That is divine honest truth right there, because my mom would always tell me, and there's a saying in Spanish, man plans, God laughs. And it's not that God is laughing at us because he's like, ha ha ha, sucks for you. That's not who he really is, who that entity is. And some of you may think that God is a woman, right? It's a female in a sense, but I see God as an entity, a spirit, a presence, an entity, the highest form of divinity and creation, where it has masculine and feminine energy. So it's not like there's a sex tied to that. It's not a gender tied to that. It's an energy. There's spiritual energies. And so, what God wants us to realize, the divine, the creator, however you want to call it, it's more of just like allow yourself to really be illuminated to the fact that while you may not know where you're headed, as the cliche says, it's about the journey. But it's really about understanding who you really are, who God is, who the creator is, who the higher power is. And you're navigating this darkness. And I know I've been there, done that, where God said, my intuition, which is moon energy, right? The divine feminine energy. The intuition says, follow your heart. Go this direction. Go do that. Go do this live stream, right? And sometimes when we listen to that intuition and we're expecting an outcome, because we're thinking, okay, if God told us that, then we're going to do that, and this is what's going to happen. And for a lot of you, you may be doing this. Some others of you, you don't trust your intuition. I'm hearing that song by Steve Perry, Foolish Heart, right? You've been wrong before, don't be wrong anymore, foolish heart, right? It's a beautiful song because Steve Perry's like, I don't want to get in this again. I was following my heart. I was trusting my heart, and it's led me to heartbreak. The heartbreak is the toughest thing in this world to deal with. It sucks. It hurts. It's painful for a lot of us. And it's like, what the fuck, right? But you can't get yourself so butthurt about it because it's teaching you something greater. And when I go back to saying, when God tells you to follow your heart, it doesn't even have to be about relationships. It could be anything, right? And some of you don't want to trust intuition because, well, look what it got me into. Fuck that. Fuck my intuition. I'm just going to be like, whatever. I'm not even going to bother, right? I'm not going to bother. And so what happens? Then we start forcing the plan. We start forcing what God has for us. And even when something doesn't go our way, we have to trust that it has a higher purpose. It's the breadcrumb. It's part of your alchemical evolution. It's part of you allowing, it's part of your training and allowing yourself and being capable of overcoming challenges and hardships and pain and suffering and heartbreak, to where you say, okay, it didn't go according to plan. It's not the outcome I thought, but well, even though you may be expecting the best and it doesn't pan out, there's a bigger thing that God wants you to see about whatever it is that your intuition led you to do. Because I'm hearing you never know who is watching. You never know who is watching, but it's funny because God is always watching. The angels are always watching, right? They're always watching. It's kind of like, you know how they have that saying, like, dance like no one is looking, you know? And then all of a sudden, like, you're dancing, somebody opens the door. Let's say you're dancing in your room. Maybe you're dancing in your room right now, or, you know, somebody opens the door and they catch you and they're like, oh, hey, you're a good dancer. And you're like, no, I'm not. I'm like, why'd you open the door? Why are you bothering me? And you start to doubt. You start to, like, freak out because somebody saw you dancing. It could be metaphorical for some of you. Others of you, it's probably literal. There's something here about a dancer. I heard the name Amanda, Aria, Ariel. I'm hearing the last name Acosta, Adam, Angel. I'm hearing 8 names. There's something here about somebody wants to be a dancer. Okay, now this is coming through. I'm channeling some people here. You always wanted to be a dancer, or you want to be a dancer now, and you're kind of like, you're stuck in the humdrum. Well, I got to have this 9-to-5 job because I got to help my partner pay the bills. I got to help myself pay the bill. I got to pay for this apartment. I got to pay for groceries and da-da-da. And, you know, being a dancer really isn't going to do that, right? Again, there's something here for somebody, and this is, if this is not your message, don't worry about it, but I'm channeling this because somebody needs to hear it. Someone wants to fulfill a dream, and if that you're the dancer, then this is for you. It's kind of like, you know you're good at something, or you just have this passion for it. Why are you not fulfilling it? And maybe you have tried to follow your dreams and follow your heart. Maybe you didn't get cast back for a concert or something, or you're not getting picked for something, and you know they're saying you need more skills, you need more experience, whatever. Don't let that hold you back. And I know that's very hard. And this doesn't just go for the people who want to fulfill dancing as a dream, okay? I'm hearing Dancing with the Stars, whatever that is, or singer, something, but I'm getting dancing, right? Sing like you're winning. Isn't that a Robbie Williams album title? The dancing thing. This goes for all of us, okay? So just really look at it from a higher perspective. Dance like no one's watching. It's kind of like, do your best, but be at your potential and don't doubt yourself. And so for those of you, whether it's dancing or not, and you're wanting to pursue these dreams, and it's just like it's rejection, 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 closed door after closed door after closed door, nobody's watching you, nobody's listening to you, nobody's picking you, nobody's signing you for anything, whatever that is, okay? You never know where that intuitive hit will lead you towards, okay? We don't know that. And sometimes for a lot of us in God's plan, God is having us train like King David before he was King David. 7 years, 10 years, whatever it is, he's having us train for an extended period of time until the right moment comes and God sees your heart posture. God sees, are you going to keep going? Are you going to keep getting back up on the horse, right? Is the biggest failure you can make is giving up on yourself. And society wants to tell us, like, you know, I will say I had 2 businesses, and I bet you the majority of the world will say, well, oh, well, you failed at those 2 businesses. No, I didn't, because I'm still fucking here. I'm still doing my shit. I'm still doing this, whether somebody watches this or not, right? Because I was guided to do it. It's kind of like getting myself back into the swing of things of doing these so-called like nightly live streams or whatever. And I used to have all these people come into my live streams, and I used to, you know, at the time I did like live readings, and I did personal readings, and I had a free list and a paid list and whatever. And it was just so crazy, but it was fun at the same time. I met a lot of amazing people. I met a lot of awesome clients at the time. And to be honest, I don't have one client. I have not had a client in a year. I have not had an income in a year from what I do. But this is not to discourage any of you and say, well, why am I listening to you? I want to have the clients. I want to have the money. I want to have the fame. I want to have the fortune. I want to get out of this rut that I'm in. But you're missing the point. Because, again, with that unknown, when you're listening and trusting to your intuition and it doesn't turn out the way that you thought, it's leading you to something even greater. And sure, we're going to see people who do things similar to us. Oh, why did that dancer get picked, you know, and they have less experience than I do and whatever, or whatever it is. I've been trying and I did this and this. We can't compare ourselves to others because we're unique. No two human godly plans are alike. It's just like no two humans are alike. And so we could be looking at our neighbors, our fellow comrades, our fellow teammates, co-workers, whatever you want to look at, friends even, who may do something similar to what we do, and we see them surpassing us, or we see them like, oh, they're here now and they're over there now. You know, people who start up businesses and they take off like as soon as they launched, you know, or the next month they have all these clients, they have all these bookings, they have all these sales, whatever it is, and just like, what happened? I've tried this twice, right? And I'm talking about myself too. I tried this twice. The first one was doing great until it flatlined, and God says, let that go. Start another one. I started another one. That didn't really go anywhere. God says, cut that one off and start another one. But I had a huge downtime between my second business and this one. And so I did a lot of learning. I did a lot of soul searching. There was a lot of soul discovery, hermit mode, right? I did a lot of self-discovery to the point where I gained so much wisdom, understanding what worked for me and what didn't. But you know what the wisdom, the clarity that came with that was? I started to realize that while even though my intuition was being led and God would show me signs and synchronicities and say, go try this out, go learn this, go learn that. I figured out I can channel, I can connect to the higher realms, and I can do all these things. At one point I was reading tarot, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't do that anymore, but it's more of like oracle and stuff like that. I try to tap into other things, and even at the beginning when I started to do tarot, that led me to tapping into my gifts that I didn't even know I had. I mean, I had some inkling of those like psychic abilities, mediumship type of thing when I was younger, but I didn't realize the potency of my abilities. And then there was also, I didn't really realize that one of my superpowers is not giving up. One of my other superpowers is really working through being able to have compassion, understanding, lack of judgment, and forgiveness for people. And yes, I said prior, a few minutes ago, I recently came through this obstacle, I guess, on my journey with the whole forgiveness thing, and not realizing that the level of lack of forgiveness was increasing in my heart space when I was getting bothered by something, and just like, why? I didn't do anything or whatever. Now it could be karmic, but we don't, it can be, but it can't be. And I'm realizing something as I'm going on in my journey, like, oh, okay, I see this now. And then I don't hold a grudge. I'm able to dispel that negative energy. I'm able to get myself to forgive, right? And forgive myself for like, why did I allow myself to get to that place? Why do I allow that person to take my power? Why did I allow whatever that person did to ruffle my feathers, to get me into a poopy state, to get me all flustered, right? We have a choice. When we allow the other person to take away our joy, our peace, our mindfulness, our health, we've lost the battle already. You've given them their crown. When you allow someone who's disrupted you, when you allow someone who's broken your heart, who has, betrayed you, belittled you, who has backstabbed you, whatever, and you allow yourself to carry that with you, you've given them all the power. Why? Because what they did affected you, and you made the choice to allow it to affect you. And they took what you need to protect, what you need to stand up for, what you need to uphold. And sometimes people aren't going to like it. And sometimes people are going to say something about it. They will put judgment on you for that, whatever that is. You can't let them take that from you, because you're giving them what is rightfully yours, and that's about being your unique self. Because there's only one of you. And that also goes for, like, when I was going to talk about what I learned from my other businesses and my other work that I used to do. And God would say, hey, try this, do that. And I did, and it was working until then I realized it wasn't, because God says you're out of alignment now. You're growing and you're learning, and you no longer need to do what you were doing in your previous businesses, type of thing. And I also learned to work smarter, even more, not harder, and that less is more. Because before I used to crank out, and I honestly, sometimes it gets me sometimes when I think about it. I remember telling my partner this about when I did 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗶 Wellness. I did about, what was it? I calculated an average of maybe 11 videos a week, and almost all those videos were an hour long, so do the math. That also did not include anything else I was putting on my mobile app or my client work, right? Because that was also doing sessions or doing readings or doing healings for people at the time. So again, try to imagine how many hours, time, energy, effort I put into that. And then I realized, you know what? I don't really have to do all of that. I really don't. I really don't. And so now someone's saying, what does this have to do with July? It has everything to do with July, because if you're coming across this live stream, or you've come across the replay of it, there's something here that has hit your heart space. Because I'm hearing like a come to Jesus moment. And when I talk about me realizing something about myself, and God's like, well, you're getting too much into your distorted masculine energy. You got to crank out all these videos. Like, because and this is no knock on anybody, especially people who are spiritual, have spiritual channels, about cranking out all these videos like on a daily basis, or however else, and having all these social media platforms, right? I'm not knocking on those people, but it's like, for a lot of those people, it worked for them. It still works for them. For me, it stopped working. And then I realized, well, I was kind of like, oh, they're doing this, let me try to do that, until I started to realize, well, why isn't it working out for me now when it did? And then there were other times where I said, well, let me go try what this person's doing, what that person's doing. And then I tried for a little bit, it was okay, and then it just fell off again. And so I was really learning that while that was not a waste of my time, it was training me. It was preparing me for something greater. And it was really, really helping me to elevate and enhance my skills. And to not only that, it was helping me with my public speaking. Because beforehand, I would be mortified of being in front of a camera. I did not even like people taking pictures of me when I was a kid, right? Or picture anything. Or, I had a hard time talking to people. I was the smartest kid in the class, but I was the least social, and I almost got put into pre-first because of that, until my mom, got feisty with, the school and said, absolutely not. But she doesn't really talk. But I was the smartest kid. I was always the smartest kid in school. well, when I got older, I was like up there. But in like K through 5, I at least was like probably the top student in every class. But anyway, but I didn't really talk much. I didn't. I did not like to speak in front of people. And I did not like confrontation. I didn't like if I got into a challenge and somebody judged me, or if I got somebody tried to like, there was a conflict, or there was someone was trying to like something about rebuttal or whatever to challenge me on something. It was almost like I knew what I believed in, and I knew what was like what the answer was or something, but then I doubted myself. When somebody challenged me, I would back into a corner and I'd challenge myself, right? Even when it got into me doing these types of channelings for people, and especially with utilizing my gifts, and I'm getting in front of the camera and YouTube started, it helped me let go of that fear and that uncertainty. And even though I thought my 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗿 Wellness channel, my first business, was just going to really skyrocket, and I thought even to that at this point in time, 2026, I thought I was going to have all these things expanded, created, built, whatever it is, but that wasn't the case. And so what I've learned from that is I started to realize that a lot of these other gifts that I mastered, they opened up greater gifts, more high vibrational gifts, things that I was able to tap into that I wasn't able to tap into before because I wasn't ready yet, because the guides, angels, God did not give me the rites of passage for. And so there's also like this energy, like I will say my first ever business was a handmade jewelry business on Etsy, right? And I made these beautiful pieces, wire working, gemstones, you name it, earrings, necklaces, rings, wired ring, whatever it was. And a lot of people fell in love with my stuff, but it was because there was an emotional attachment, because I would put stories behind my work. And little did I know, I was actually infusing some like positive energy into them, until God had me start to do like beaded bracelets, like the ones that I was showing you. And I remember some people, when I was presenting them, they were, I made a lady cry, like the owner of a spiritual business. She cried when she held my Archangel Alchemy bracelet. And that's been my popular bracelet ever since. And my Metatron one, and I have new ones there, and people haven't gotten them yet because they're new, but I'm starting this off. But anyway, I'll never forget the owner of the spiritual center who cried, but it wasn't like tears of sadness, it was tears of joy, because she felt the presence of the Legion of Angels while she held that in her hand. And she only held it for maybe like about 5 seconds, maybe not even. And she was holding her heart, and she was kind of, her breathing changed, and it was like she was overcome with emotion, but she was feeling this super high vibrational energy that her physical body wasn't ready to handle yet. And everyone around her was like, there's such high energy in here. Whenever I left the room, people were like, oh my God, the energy went away. And then I walked back into the room, like the vibration goes up. And it was just like, that's coming from me. They're like, yeah, it's coming from you. And so I had to get back into like the jewelry making, but doing things differently and having purpose in my creations, right? And starting back again. Because in my second business is when my beaded jewelry line started, and it was really doing well until everything just flatlined again. And so this was kind of like, why does God lead me to this? And I do these things, and then I get discouraged, and then, whatever. It's like, God, help me out here. But again, I'm learning. It's the same thing for all of you with the July energies going on right now. The Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini, and Jupiter being in Leo, and Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and we've got the Jupiter-Pluto opposition coming up, and some of you may be getting really hit hard with these transits. And let me tell you, the end of July, again, I'm recording this July 11th, 2026, the end of July 2026, it's going to escalate, which is probably why I am doing this recording. And we all need to be prepared. And when I talk about my previous businesses and my intuition leading me to all these things, and it just, okay, it went great, and then it didn't, and then I had to circle back, and then I had to start over again, and like recalibrate and redo and reassess and reevaluate. That's why Mercury's in retrograde right now. It's the re's. In Cancer, the sign of the home, your emotional body, Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's like, there's also uncertainty with Cancer. Cancer is the crab symbolizes Cancer, and crabs tend to be defensive, right? Well, I'm getting defensive because I listened to my intuition, I followed it, and God did me wrong, and that person did me wrong, and that still didn't go according to plan, and this, and that. We have to stop allowing ourselves to get defensive when we follow our intuition and it doesn't pan out. And others of you, you're not listening or trusting your intuition because maybe you don't believe in that. You need hardcore evidence. You need logic. You need the rule set. It's like you have a set of Legos, and I've said this before in a previous teaching, and it's the set of Legos that has all the different bricks and all the different colors, right? Sure, it comes with like, you can build this, you can build that. How many of you would be able to take that big box of Legos and start just building things on your own? It's like, I love the Lego movie with Emmett, you know, he's not a master builder. You guys have to understand you're all master builders. But what does Emmett say? I don't have the instruction booklet. Okay, guys, I'm waiting for the instruction booklet. Like, that movie speaks to me so loudly. And then what happens? Emmett finally builds something from his intuition, what he's feeling he needs to build. And it's funny because he builds the double-decker couch. And people say, this is the stupidest thing. This makes no sense, right? And sure, that's going to have Emmett take a hit to his heart. He's going to doubt himself. Well, maybe I'm not a master builder. Okay, I just made a piece of shit. Nobody likes it. People are saying that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But and a lot of you are like this. You're in this right now. And some of you may be being pushed out of your comfort zone, or pushed out of a job, or pushed out of a career where nobody sees your value. Nobody sees your worth. And you know what that is for a lot of you? Go do your own damn thing. Go start your own business. Go get the patent. Go get the trademark. Whatever that is. Go do your thing. Go do your fucking thing. Like the Jupiter in July. Jupiter in July. Yeah, Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter is a planet of optimism, but it also expands things, but it can also like really put a magnifying glass to your issues. It expands whatever it touches. It magnifies whatever it touches. That magnifying glass is being put on you, or it's being put on something, wherever Leo's in your chart, and saying, what are you doing too much of? What are you doing not enough of, right? Are you and Jupiter ties into faith and optimism, right? Joy. Are you giving too much to something that doesn't bring you joy? Are you trying to be a follower instead of a leader? Leo is the sign of the leader. The bold and the brave, shining their light, being in the spotlight, not being afraid of anybody, right? True loyalty to themselves and to their craft and to their mission. Jupiter's expanding. Okay, what are you doing too much of? Too much fear, too much doubt, too much uncertainty, too much being a follower, too much conforming to society, too much like, I got to do what everybody else is doing. Look, I'll be honest. I get some of these videos, these emails from this one company who like helps with people, you know, in their YouTube channels, and this says, this is what this channel did, and their channel skyrocketed because they did this, and like blah 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 blah. They made all this money, and they made all this money, and they made all this money, and they made all this money. Right? It's always going back to the money piece. But again, with Jupiter magnifying something for you, what is Jupiter really causing you to look at? With you being the leader in your own life, you being the king or queen in your own life, because Leo is ruled by the sun and it's the symbol of the lion, the king of the jungle, the queen of the jungle. What kingdom are you going to build? But that means you've got to be true to yourself. Shine your light. You got to be authentic, and you got to do the thing that nobody else does. And the other thing about the money thing, what do you love to do that if you didn't get paid for it, you would still love doing? And that goes back to what I was learning the past 6 years. I was realizing, you know what? I love channeling. I love working with Oracle. Now I'm getting into more of working with spirit animals and channeling their wisdom. I'm spending so much more time in nature and getting back to the basics of observing the world around me and learning from the little things that most people on this planet miss, and I'm teaching that to people. And I love the revelations that I get. I love the signs and synchronicities I get. Like just this week, you can ask my partner, even he was getting the sign, the sea turtle or a type of turtle was showing up all over the freaking place all week. And you know how beautiful that is? And it was still a reminder, right, for me. Well, I've been doing this type of work for 6 years, and it really hasn't manifested the way that I wanted, the way that I thought. The outcome didn't turn out the way I expected. It's more of me trusting, surrendering to God, being in the flow, and accepting my current state, that I am where I need to be in this time and age. And I know that the energy will shift. It's a matter of divine timing. And a lot of people don't like divine timing. It's like my partner. I was single for like 6 years, okay, as I was living my purpose. And God said to me in 2020 during the pandemic, I said, God, how am I going to come into union with my divine partner, whatever? And God said to me, Dharma. You need to align with your life's purpose, and you need to do your life's purpose. And it's funny because all those years I did that. And then it was starting to like wane off again until my partner showed up out of nowhere. And it's so fucking funny that my passenger tail light ended up being halfway full of water, and I had never seen that before in my life. And I was living with my parents at the time because I had a huge life change, and my dad goes, I never seen that. One of my other family, male family members were like, I've never seen that. And I was just like, this is so weird. And then it had my tail light bulb go out, right? And I said, oh man, I can't be driving around like this. And so I take it to the shop that my brother-in-law used to work in back in Florida before they moved out of the state. And at my shop is where I met my partner, who is still with me today. And when you're patient, guys, when you're trusting in divine timing, but here's the thing, you forget about divine timing. You forget about being in a romantic relationship. You forget about like, oh my gosh, when is my business, like when are my gifts really going to be seen? When is this really going to take off? When is this really going to work out for me, right? When you learn to be in the present moment and you just be, and you surrender, and you trust in what God is doing in your life, and you still trust your intuition anyway, and you just say, okay, this is for a greater purpose. This is for a greater purpose. I'm learning something here, because you're going to utilize that in the future. You're going to utilize that for something greater. And with my partner, it was like, wow, he came out of nowhere. And he exceeded my expectations. And it was just like, well, God, I didn't ask for these things. And he goes, I know, because I know the true desires of your heart. And that's the thing. We think we know what we desire in a partner. We think we know what we desire in a relationship or in a job or in a career, whatever. But do we really? Do we really? And I will say that even though in my 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗶𝗺𝗿 wellness days, you can go look at my old channel if you want. Listen to this, man. I looked up my channel because I needed to go back and see what my settings were or my tags were for my live streams, right, back in the day. And I looked it up. And I said, I noticed that people are still watching my videos and people are still making comments. I even had an old coworker who was my first friend when I started working for the government. He made a comment on one of my old videos. I think it was 5 years ago. And he made a nice comment. I was like, oh my God, he made a comment. And then all these other people were making comments. Oh, thank you for this or whatever. And people are still getting their messages 5, 6, 4 years later from that channel. And even though, and God told me, don't delete that channel, because people later on are still going to run into it, because I'm going to send them that video and it's going to help them at the exact time that they need it. And what's fucking crazy is that I didn't even know that my first YouTube channel was still getting views. And what's funny is that I saw, if you guys have YouTube channels, you know how the YouTube channel says views, the green arrow that goes up or the red arrow that goes down. The views have been going up. And I'm like, what is going on? There has been an uptick in my 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗶 Wellness channel for the past 28 days. And it got, I think it said 176 views. I think I have it here in the past 28 days. And you know, there's a reason why I'm doing this live stream, because it's supposed to give you guys an example, not to give up. And let's say you have YouTube channels or you have something that you created and you need to resurrect it, right? Or you leave it be, but what you did in the past is actually benefiting someone in the present. Wow. And so it's not all for nothing. It's not a waste of your time. This includes your relationships. I had unfulfilling relationships because I was codependent and I was mousy and I was a coward sometimes and I was afraid to speak up and I was afraid to, I'm like, my ancestry is Puerto Rican, right? I'm Latina. So I was afraid to tap into the like Puerto Rican fire type of thing and be like, but not like burn somebody to the ground, right? Not light them on fire. It was kind of tapping into my true nature, especially with my culture, right? But allowing myself to just be who God made me to be. And I wasn't being my authentic self in all those other relationships until the one that I have now. And even then, there were some things that I found myself that I really wasn't being authentic with. I was starting to go back to the old Jess. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, right? We get tested. We get tested. And it's just like, no. What am I doing? And then I had to like reevaluate, reassess, Mercury retrograde. Why am I getting angry about this? Oh, wait. I gotta speak my truth. I gotta stand up. I gotta say something. I gotta just be open and honest, whatever that is, you know? We have to be able to do some self-reflection and look at ourselves and say, you know, what is it that we are getting misaligned with, or we're going back to, or an old karmic pattern that we're repeating? Again, Jupiter putting the magnifying glass on that. And this month's astrology is really getting the collective to really look at something very important, very serious here. Because a lot of the collective needs to make some changes. It's not changing like the core of who you are, but then you gotta also ask yourself, is your core of what you think you are, is it really you? Is it really you? That's the bigger question. Is it really you? And only you will know the answer, or unless you have a spiritual teacher or a mentor to help you discover whether you are who you say you are or not. Are you really being authentic? And I know in like my past, it was funny because my 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗰𝗹𝗶 wellness days, it was teaching me to be blunt. it was teaching me to kind of like be in people's faces, but not make them feel like shit. That's not what I do. But the only thing is that some people thought that I was full of shit, or I made them feel like shit, or I was judging, or I was criticizing, when I really wasn't. Because I am the bringer of truth, right? I work very closely with Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael doesn't fuck around. He doesn't like anything that is not a divine truth. He really does not like it when people are inauthentic, when they're letting their lower ego run the show. When they're pretending to be someone that they're not. And so it's like, you know what? That previous channel was helping me to be more aligned with who I really am. I can see right through people. I can call out the bullshit. It's like the Queen of Swords and Tarot, the King of Swords and Tarot. I can stop beating around the bush and say, call out, yeah, you know what? That's not healthy for you. Or it's ruining your brain. Or, you know, you keep repeating the same patterns. You're chasing. You're not being your true authentic. Whatever it was. Whatever it was. And then the other thing that I learned, if people did not like me for who I truly was or who I truly am to this day, they don't like the truth that comes out. They don't like how I operate or what I believe in or whatever it is. Fine. But I have learned that I can't love them any less. And that's it's hard for a lot of people. I cannot allow myself to say, oh, screw you then. You know, you can't be my friend. You can't be part of the circle. You know, fuck you. Like, no, you can't be in that energy either. It's just that they just don't understand you. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to understand you. And that's one of the things you just have to accept. The brighter your light shines, the more shadow it's going to cast. And that's also going to like irritate people. You shouldn't keep yourself from shining your light. Even if you lose friends, even if your family says something, even if, you know, people don't like you for it. You got to stand on your own 2 feet. You can't allow anyone, again, strip you of your power, take your crown, and dim your light. You lose all sense of self and authenticity when you do that. And it's hard. I don't have any friends. I haven't had friends for a long time. But hey, I'm still here. And I'm proud of that fact. I know that I'm going to have my new soul tribe come in at some point. I just have to trust that at some point in time, God will bring us all together. And the partner that I have now, even though there are some things that we don't see eye to eye with, we still agreed to disagree on some things, but we still have this compassion and understanding for each other because of it. We're not trying to force something onto each other, right? When it comes to things that we know are true for us, belief system, or whatever that is, or certain ways of doing things, we still have to stay true to ourselves. But there's also finding some common ground, which is important. And I know for me, I get frustrated when people like, they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. But I have to be patient with those people too, right? And in my 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗶 days, when I was realizing that people were still watching my videos, again, God said, see, people are still getting guidance. You're helping some people and you don't even know it. And you don't even know that you're still helping people. And it's so funny how people are still making comments. And I laugh because in the past 28 days, I lost a subscriber on my 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗃 channel. I said, oh, that's hilarious. Someone just realized, oh, unsubscribe. So I'm going to share something with you. And this is to kind of teach you guys, like, I've come a long way. I ran into a comment from a viewer. Apparently she was in my live streams. I may have done some personal readings for her, but that's besides the point. I did a video about saying goodbye, tarot. It was nice knowing you. Now it's kind of funny because I've been wondering if I should go back to that, but that's something else I'm going to have to really reevaluate and connect with God on, because a lot of people were utilizing tarot, just they were the addictions, and it's just like wasn't, I did a different type of level of reading for that, and it was hard for people, and I was just kind of like, this is tough, God. And then the God said, okay, let's pull you off of this. But I did a video on my 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹𝗶𝗺𝗿 Wellness channel, and I said, it says goodbye tarot, it was nice knowing you, and you guys can watch it if you want. So, and I'm gonna read this because I actually laughed, and this is not to poke fun at the user who put this comment. It helped me to find the humor in an insult. And she said, the only gift that I see that you have is ripping people off, making them listen to your bullshit, and then you leave on them after all that time. They listened to you, invited in you, and believed and trusted you. Do you want to scoot out? Goodbye. First of all, and I'm going to call it like it is, I can't stand improper grammar. I am a grammar N-A-Z-I. Okay. My mother was an English teacher. She also taught Spanish. I can't deal with grammar that is shitty. This is not a judgment on her. This is not a knock on that user. I'm just being very honest. I can't fucking stand it. But I laugh at it, right? And then she puts another comment, like the same day. Are you kidding me? All this time I've been listening to you, and now you want to ball out? That's bullshit. So you're a scam artist. Well, you got me, but you know what? You don't got me no more. Goodbye. Do you see how angry this person was because I stopped doing tarot? Like, listen, this could be even a real thing for you guys. There was this lady who was almost had 1 million followers on TikTok. I can't even remember her name. And she said, I'm not doing this anymore. And so many people lost their shit. For what? Because somebody that you watched giving you advice or whatever, reading for you, is no longer going to do it. So you want to get all butthurt because you're losing the fact that you're giving your power away to that person. Can't you do tarot for yourself? Can't you, whether you do tarot or not, can't you pull your own oracle card? Can't you go meditate and talk to God about something to get the same kind of guidance? Or maybe more guidance for you? Because the other thing is, all this stuff, when it comes to spiritual teachings and channelings and things, it's not going to float everybody's boat. It's not going to apply to everyone. And it may apply to that person, but it may apply to them later on down the road. Not the day that it gets posted. And I read these comments, and it just so happened I read them before this live stream. And some guy said, why are people so ... ellipses in the comments, right? I'm gonna go heart this stuff. Even though I'm not on this channel anymore, I'm just gonna heart it. I'm gonna heart all of it. Why not? They just told me to do it. If this was the old Jess reading these comments, I would have felt so low to the ground. I would have felt less of myself. I would have been like, oh, I pissed somebody off. Oh, she's mad because I'm not doing tarot anymore. Maybe I should go back to doing tarot. Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. Or I should say, oh, well, maybe I should write to her and say, oh, I'm sorry, or whatever, or even explain myself. It's funny because I almost like wanted to reply to one of the messages, and my intuition said, you don't need to say shit. Your silence means everything. And sure, I hearted the comments, but that's it. And I found humor in that. All this time I've been listening to you, and now you want to ball out. You want to bail out. I think it says bail out. Balls out, right? Whatever. You see? calling me a scam artist. Wow. And I know that God, all these years, he's been preparing me for people like that, comments like that. Projection is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. She's very hurt about something. She's not hurt because I stopped reading tarot and she can't watch my readings anymore. Do you know how many other readers are out there on all social media platforms? I wasn't the only one at the time. It's not because she's mad that I'm no longer doing that on my channel and she can't watch those from me anymore. There's something else that is eating her up. Now, I don't know if the guidance being given, if she was watching all those things, if she was actually following the free guidance that was given. And I know a lot of people love free stuff. Free channelings, free readings, free whatever, free lives, whatever it is on these social media platforms. But what good is it if you don't make any use of it, if you don't follow the guidance? Especially when something great is going to happen. And that's the challenge with doing any type of spiritual work, right? Even with the astrology transits. Okay, somebody's angry up there. While the astrology can say, oh, good luck and abundance, and this is when you come meet you're come into union with your partner, you're gonna find love, or this career is gonna, whatever it is, right? You're gonna heal from this. Some people do, and some people don't. But it's like, but that transit said this, but you said it was gonna be a great month, and it wasn't. You said it was gonna be a bad month, and it wasn't. Everybody's different. Oh, Yoshi's here. Yoshi! That's our cat, Yoshi. Yoshi, say hi. Say hi, Yosh. Oh, you're here. Love you. See, there's a sign right there. My tuxedo tabby cat. My partner adopted him before I met him, so he was trying to remember the breed, but maybe some of you guys know. He's got these beautiful blue eyes. He's awesome, awesome cat. Anyway, he's coming into this reading now, but cats are a sign of independence. A lot of you need to be independent and interdependent in a relationship. I had to learn that the hard way. And when it comes to independence, that also ties into your authenticity, right? Allowing yourself to do what you know is right for you, and to allow yourself to lead your own life, right? Children got to be free to lead their own life. Isn't that what Sebastian says at the end of The Little Mermaids? I'm getting Ariel again. You know, you just got to roll with it. You just got to roll with it. And that's being your authentic self. It's like God said, do this live stream. I wasn't prepared. I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? I had to set this up, and, you know, my hair this and whatever that. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like usually I'm really prepared for these things. And I had to do all these other things. I posted a reel on Instagram before this and finished up my product stuff for my bracelets. Now Yoshi's messing around with a clear quartz crystal that might be significant for some of you. Watch my clear quartz crystal reading for the month of June. Even though it's not June anymore, it might still apply to your month of July. On my Healing Illuminator channel. I have another channel, yes. And so I do a lot of things, right? But again, it's going back to being independent, but doing you, and not being afraid to do it, and not being unapologetic. And so as I was reading these comments, right, I said, wow, the old Jess would have been butthurt, would have been sad, would have been, oh, well, let me go make her feel better. Say sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's not my fault you got all pissed off and you're calling me a scam artist? Yeah, okay, sure. Go ahead and think that. How others perceive you is not who you are, ladies and gentlemen. And that is something that I had to learn from the hard way, especially when I was communicating with my twin flame years ago. And that's a whole other thing they want me to talk about, my whole twin flame experience. And let me tell you, oh my God, Have I gotten some revelation about that journey? It's insane. It's dispelling a lot of beliefs I had with that journey, my own twin, and all these other things. And then God just had me realize something about a different type of twin, but we won't get into that. It's crazy, right? But anyway, my twin flame had told me to, to be you, be who you are. How others perceive you is not who you are. And I really had to soak that in. But I had to really learn that over the years, even after he told me that, right? And yeah, sometimes we'll step out of that, and that's okay. It happens. It happens. I mean, we're human beings. We start to realize, oh shit, man, I gave my power away. Oh shit, I wasn't being on. Oh shit, I wasn't aligned with my truth. It's all right. And when that happens, you can't be upset about it. And if someone else gets upset or angered about it, when you do that, don't let them get the best of you. We need to understand as human beings, we have faults. We can go back and forth. We can regress. We can relapse, whatever that is. But when we're really genuinely understanding the heart of someone, why they do things, why they don't do things, we're better for it. And when you have that unconditional love for people, it's like Archangel Simiel is the angel of unconditional love. I have a bracelet who helps us remind her energy in that bracelet that I created helps us to remind us of that. The unity amongst family, compassion, unconditional love. Like, she heals broken hearts too, right? And you don't have to have your heart broken by a romantic partner. My heart was broken so many times and disappointed when, clients dropped off or clients were like relapsing or like they were struggling again. And, and then I lost all my clients, and then I wasn't making any money, and I tried all these things, and then I did my best and I did what I loved to do, and it still didn't get me anywhere. And I had these open doors that slammed in my face, and then I was betrayed by more people. I was backstabbed by more people. It's like, when is this going to end? Right? That's heartbreak in itself. And you have to keep getting back up and keep getting back up and keep getting back up and keep getting back up. But again, like I said, my superpower is that I don't give up. It's like that Super Mario movie, what Peach tells Super Mario. So many people just give up, and they give up on themselves. Yeah, you can give up, like, you know what? I'm not going to do that job anymore. I'm not going to be in that toxic relationship anymore. I'm not going to be in that friendship anymore. I'm not going to eat those foods anymore. Whatever, I give that up. Giving something up is different than giving up. You probably thought that I confused you. You guys should meditate to get revelation on your own as to what that means. It's like I'm giving up that relationship because it's no longer aligned with me. It's not healthy for me. It fell apart, separate ways, journey, right? It doesn't work for me anymore. I'm not happy. It was never happy, whatever that is. But you don't give up on love in the process. And that's hard for a lot of people. You give up a 20-year career in something that you loved and you were so good at, and now the inspiration is gone. Now the fervor is gone. The fire is gone. The spark is gone. Spark plugs, right? Could be significant, like if you're a car mechanic or something. Something that lit you up no longer lights your fire, and that's okay. And then God is trying to get you to transition into something else. But some of you are afraid to do it. Look, I'm 46 years old now. I turned 46 June. I spent 20 years as a systems engineer working for the DoD. And now I'm doing this. That life is past, and I learned so much from it. And what I learned from there, I'm actually applying in my own life. And what's funny is that something is coming back around into what my purpose is that I did not even see coming. And that is worth everything. And so when we get into these things where people want to judge us and it's like, you're not doing that anymore? Well, that's dumb. Why are you going to start that now? Why'd you give up that job? Why are you filing for divorce after all those years? What about the kids? Blah, 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 blah. And people are calling you out like you're a scam artist. They're saying you're full of shit, that you're making the wrong decisions. Let them talk. You know what sometimes that is? It's because they didn't do what you are doing right now. They didn't have the balls to do it. They didn't have the courage to do it. They didn't have the trust in what God was telling them to get out of, to drop, or to give up, let go of. They didn't have. They had the opportunity, but they didn't take it. They didn't take the risk. But you are doing it. And if you haven't taken the risk yet, this is your time to do it, because the rewards are going to be beyond anything you could ever see. But sometimes those rewards are going to take time to manifest. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, the longer it takes for you to see the fruits of your labor in the physical world. That's how the divine order works. And no matter what God leads you to, and no matter how disappointed you are, it's setting you up for something bigger than you can ever imagine. And when that opportunity presents itself, like what happened today, and my partner's like, he's getting called to do something unexpected that ties into what he now wants to do. And then it gave me the time to do this live stream. Again, whether people watch this or not, I'm not even worried about it. And look, I'm going to be honest. The whole time I've been channeling, it's 81 minutes here, 39 seconds. Nobody, apparently what I'm seeing in the numbers here, it could be an illusion. It seems like nobody's been watching this. But you know what? I could have ended it. I could have said, if the camera's moving, it's because my cat is rubbing his scent on the box that's holding up my camera stand. Yoshi, you all right? But am I going to stop this? Yeah, my camera is shaking or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. And so, yeah. That's what I said at the beginning. Dance like no one is watching. Record like no one is watching. Talk, communicate, share like no one is watching. Shine your light like no one is watching. But you gotta be your true, authentic self. And they're reminding me of those comments that that girl posted on this video that I posted a year ago. Okay. It's funny because it now has 99 views. The last time I saw the count on this video, only maybe 15, 20, 30 people viewed it. Now 99 people have viewed it since I last looked at it a year ago. That says a lot. You can't give up on your dream, but know that everything is part of a greater purpose, the greater plan. God knows what he's doing. And listen, it is hard. But you got to trust me in saying, I'm still here. I'm still doing it. I still love doing this stuff. And I know God's preparing me more with my public speaking, with being more aligned with my truth and my authentic self. This whole live stream is going to lead to something else. But I know I'm still going through my training. And I'm still trusting when God said, go do the live stream. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to say? What am I going to channel? Yeah, let us take the reins. You just got to be at peace, and we're going to utilize your vessel to disseminate the messages. Now, I will say this in closing. So today, God had led me to take a walk since my partner had already left to go do, to jump on this opportunity. And, it was pretty hot out, but it was nice. Sun was out. People were around. And it was, our hotel is right by the outlet mall out here. And this man stopped me. And long story short, he was trying to sell me 2 boxes of AirPods, right? And I was just, wow, that's really good deal, but honestly, I don't have any money. And he thought I was joking. And he goes, oh, wow, really? I said, no, I'm being serious. I have $0 in my bank account. I have nothing in my bank account. Well, it's really $4, but still, it's $4. It's better than zero, right? But there's nowhere near buying AirPods, right? So I'm like, whatever. And he goes, well, you know what? I'm going to give you an even deeper discount because you're very pretty. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. He goes, well, honestly, I really don't have money in my account for this. And then I said to him, it came out of fucking nowhere. I haven't made an income in an entire year. You should have seen his face. He goes, what? Really? But then he's kind of questioning me because he sees me on my phone and he's like, you know, I'm wearing this outfit. And he goes, really? But you look so well kept together. You look very nice and you're wearing nice things and stuff. You seriously haven't made an income in a year? So I'm being honest. And then I actually said to him, I can log into my bank account, show you. He goes, oh, no. Like, I trust you. I trust you. Right? It was funny. And then he says, well, how is that possible? And I said, God makes it possible. And he didn't get it. His face was in such disbelief. And then he was like, okay, well, just know that you're still pretty. And I was like, well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And he goes, I'll be praying for you. I wish you well. It'll get better. And I said, it already has. And he looked at me with this face like, who are you? And so he goes his own way. I go the opposite way. And then I said to God, God, what was that all about? And God said to me, you don't need $1 million in your bank account to look like $1 million. And he said, I was trying to see if you were going to be completely honest with that man. And you know what the crazier thing was? My left AirPod has come apart. And I have to be very careful when I put it in the left ear and take it out because I could ruin it, right? Yeah, I'm able to fix it a bit, but it's not sealed. Like I have to be very careful with that left AirPod. And I love having my AirPods. I listen to a lot of music, a lot of things, and on my walks and stuff like that. Anyway, it's so funny because I said, man, I'd like to get another set of AirPods, like the newer generation, but I obviously do not have the money. And this is not to put bad light on my partner either, because we're both being spiritually attacked with the financial piece of this. He supports me so much. He's been taking care of what I truly need, the basics, not just for me, but the both of us, in the best way he can, because he is also getting spiritually attacked because the enemy is really trying to like derail us and kind of cause us to fall into despair and stuff like that, and trying to get us to butt heads and fight each other and all these things, right? And it's been challenging to say the least. But he's doing all these things, but I know God has something greater for him too, and I'm here to support him in that, provided that he's trusting in God's plan for him and he's trusting his heart, right? And so you would think that people would be like, well, why doesn't your man like buy you new AirPods or give you them or give you an allowance or whatever? If God's not having that happen right now, then so be it. But I have what I need. I have the basics, right? But the bigger thing is we share so many amazing things and we have the greatest time together, even when we have very little. We play games together. We've been playing these like these word games and stuff lately, and we make jokes and we'll watch movies together or whatever. We'll take walks and we always pray over our dinners. We actually both cooked an amazing meal last night, and it's just the little things. It's the little things. It's the little things. He's very, very chivalrous. He's very brilliant, very creative. It's just, it's these little things that I overlooked in relationships that I really value. And so, and you know, money has nothing to do with it. And I know at a time we started dating, he was like, you deserve the best of everything, nothing cheap, nothing this, whatever, until like things started to change. But I love him even more than before, because we've been able to get over some of these challenging hardships with that, you know? And so, what was I getting at? Yeah, because my guides are telling me it's like I'm getting to the end of this live stream. And so, with the person who I ran into at the outlet mall and what he said. And God said to me, you're being your authentic self. And even though you haven't had an income in a year, like I said, no clients, nobody's been purchasing my stuff. Like my website's been up. I'm keep putting up my bracelets. I'm starting my Instagram, all these things. I'm just trusting. I'm continuing to do what I'm guided to do. I'm continuing to do what I love. And it's just like, let's see where it takes me. Ride the current, right? The sea turtle energy that I put on my Instagram. Like, it's a beautiful message, and it gives reflections on things, right? That inspired me to do the sea turtle bracelets. Everything that I create is cohesive. It's harmonious. One works with the other. Okay? It's part of a greater ecosystem that I'm creating. Okay? My illumination, my life illuminator ecosystem. So I love the fact that that happened while I was walking the outlet mall, because God was like, you were very honest. Most people wouldn't go around telling other people they have no money in their bank account or barely anything at all, let alone not having an income for a year. How many of you would go around saying that if that was your truth? And the fact that he was so surprised that I did not look like that. I didn't look like I didn't have an income. I didn't look like what I've been through, speaks volumes. That is where the wealth lies. I have no home of my own. I no longer have a car. I have none of my own money coming from my current business, this channel, my website, my Instagram, none of that. No income. No 9-to-5 job, because God doesn't want me to have one. No car, no house yet. But I'm wealthier than Elon Musk. I'm pretty sure. I don't have the trillions of dollars, but I fucking feel like a fucking trillionaire. So with that being said, how many of you can go around telling people that? Are you going around with who you are, presenting yourself, you're glowing, you're radiant, and someone comes by and says, and you're like, yeah, I don't have an income, I don't have any money, but you're still smiling. And even the guy had told me, you're still smiling and you still look like very pretty, you know, whatever. He was very surprised. How many of you can do that? How many of you have mastered that? Would you like to master that is the question. Would you like to live a life like that? You can go around not having the physical stuff that what I have now, and you still have a beautiful romantic relationship. You still love yourself. You still look radiant. You still look young. You still look vibrant. You still look like you're thriving. I'm fucking thriving without those things, which is why I boldly said I am wealthier than Elon Musk. I am a trillionaire and everything else that Elon Musk does not have, and any other billionaire out there. I have Jessica. I have my partner. I have my voice. I have my truth. I have God. I have nature. I have Yoshi. I have my business. I have my creations. I have my sovereignty, and my fucking crown is still on my damn head, despite everything. That is where the true wealth lies. That is what true abundance is. And I know at some, I'm getting goosebumps, I'm lighting up. Later on down the line, my spiritual bank is full of trillions of dollars in gold coins, which will eventually manifest into the physicality of what my spiritual bank has. You just sit and watch. How much money do you have in your spiritual bank? In your body, right? In your fuel tank. Do you have enough fuel to keep going in the day? Do you have enough fuel to enjoy your life the way it was meant to be enjoyed? Some of you, I can feel it. Some of you are making good money, right? Middle class, upper middle class. You know, you get to go places. You have money in your bank account, way more than I do, I'm sure. But you're not fulfilled. Some of you are tightwads. Some of you don't want to spend any money because you're afraid of what will happen. Some of you are afraid to share your wealth. You could have some money, but when somebody wants to borrow something or somebody's going through a hardship, you don't offer it freely to those people. Be careful with that because God will take it from you. Wealth in the material world was meant to be shared. If God blessed you with more than other people, He's expecting you to share with others who are less fortunate than you are. And it's funny because my spiritual bank is loaded, 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 loaded. I said trillions of dollars in gold coins, right? So that means I'm supposed to share that type of spiritual wealth with all of you. And to teach you how to do it, teach you how to align with that energy, teach you how to live life similar to how I'm living it now. To when you don't have a car, don't have a house, don't have any money, haven't been making any money for a long time, and you walk by somebody and they say, wow, you look great. And you say, well, thank you. Would you like to buy this? Sorry, don't have the money. Well, I'll give you a discount. No, I really don't have the money. And they look at you like you're an alien. It's like, it's reminding me of 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗺𝗶𝗺𝗏. Oh, I love her. That'd be so great if she watches this because she talks about being a badass alien or a sexy alien or a spicy alien. Like she's so super cool. Like if I were to have a friend, she could totally be my friend because she and I are a lot alike and she is a Leo and I'm a Leo rising and a Leo North Node, 0 degrees. So it's like, you know, looking at me like I'm an alien. I think a lot of you would really enjoy being looked at as an alien. Totally rare, totally unique, not like anything on this planet. So this is your time to ask yourself before I pull one of my old oracle cards. It's just so weird. Why am I coming back to my Capella wellness stuff? I'm hearing people are looking for me. People are looking for me. Oh, I just got a hit. Are you kidding me? Oh boy. Oh boy. This is fucking crazy. See, I'm having revelations in my own live stream. See, this is the reason why, one of the many reasons why I'm doing this. I just heard people are looking for me. That's also a message for some of you. People are looking for you too. Or you are looking for someone to help you with your situation. That could very well be me, utilizing me as your mentor or like really subscribing to my channel or really following the guidance in it. But the true transformation, deep, deep, deep transformation, when you learn to have trillions of dollars in coins, gold coins in your spiritual bank, like I have achieved, that requires a huge investment of time, money, and energy into your health and your well-being to be illuminated so that you can really really transform into like the caterpillar to the butterfly, but something even greater than that, to where it's a process. It takes time. It takes commitment. It takes patience. It takes surrender. It takes acceptance. Even when it's like you think that you're going to hit the jackpot, you think that you've made it out alive, you think that you've healed fully, whatever, and you haven't, and you still, like, stuff keeps closing in your face, shutting in your face, whatever, and you still keep going, you still got to commit to your alchemical evolution, to your healing, your sustainable healing. And that's one of the things that I teach too. But it's a lot more profound when it's one-on-one and you commit to that. And I commit to you. So I'm going to pull a card from my old Capella Wellness Star into your power deck. What does the collective need at this time with this July update, Holy Spirit? Be good to yourself when nobody else will. Oh, be good to yourself. They made me do that. You see that? Listen to this journey song, guys. Listen to this journey song. Listen, 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 listen. This song got me revved up and was like, I am changing. I had to learn this myself. Joe Feels coming in with this message. Be good to yourself when nobody else will. You are deserving. So get on that shit. Here's the other one. Your manifestation is super close. Maybe you're manifesting money. Maybe you're manifesting somebody, a mentor, or you're manifesting an easier way of living. You want to be healthier, whatever this is for you, okay? For some of you, you're getting excited because of this card. Yeah, my manifestation is super close, but are you aligned with your manifestation? Have you done the hard work? Are you a completely different person than where you were last year, last month? Are you happy, happy, joy, joy, even when it's hard? Even when doors get slammed on your face, even when your heart gets broken again, you get disappointed again, you go through a hardship, are you still being good to yourself while you're going through the shit? If you can't do that right now, you're not fucking aligned with this, and that's the God honest truth. Manifestation ties into an alignment of the frequency of what your manifestation is. Perfection is not your goal. You're not perfect. Neither am I. Neither is this live stream, whatever it is. Stop judging and stop. No one's perfect. You aren't. I'm not. So have an open heart. Have an open mind. I'm also getting your perfect person is not perfect. The person who you, like, let's say you just romance your divine partner or whatever, they're not perfect either. Dude, I'm getting the call again. I got to do a twin flame reading. Because what I realize is that in the relationship that I am now, which is like, it's a divine partner shop, go to my shop, go to my shop, go to my shop. My bracelets are the shit. They're going to be unlike anything you have ever experienced. If I can make people cry with those things, I can help, like, people heal through that. But a big reminder, they can really understand what the purpose of that bracelet is. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Not otter spirit, not mindful souls, whatever, not anything. And I'm not knocking on those companies or anybody else who sells spiritual bracelets, but I guarantee you will not find any energy healing bracelet in the world like mine. They also come with energy grid activations that are beyond potent. Okay? Perfection is not your end goal. This is a perfect example of this live stream. I had diffuser set up. I accidentally knocked it over. I didn't have my hair right. Like, look, it looks kind of crazy, but who gives a shit? And yeah, I've been playing around with it, but it's like, look, I'm trying to be funny. Like, you know, whatever. Let's do some crazy shit. Whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't care. Right? All my guys said, go ahead. You can put on your eye makeup, whatever. I still wearing the same clothes that I wore when I went out on my walk. And usually I wear something different. It's me. It's me. Crazy hair and all. I have to go wash my hair and re-blow dry it, whatever the hell. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. This is an example, right? Because my hair does look like a little crazy, and I know I've been playing around with it because that's a little bit of a conscious thing, but I'm not perfect either. I'm not perfect either. I'm singing Journey songs on this live. I don't have to be perfect, right? Whatever. I mean, I have a nice singing voice, but still, that's beside the point. Look what's at the bottom of the deck. What did I say earlier? Someone's about to contact you. That's why I heard people are looking for you. Or you are looking for someone. Maybe you're looking for me. Maybe you're looking for, I don't know what, an answer from God. You're looking for some reprieve. I also guess someone's about to contact you. It could be about your manifestation, or it could be someone's telling you to be good to yourself, or someone's telling you stop trying to be perfect. Your life doesn't have to be perfect. I just was very vulnerable to you guys about no clients, no money coming in for a long time, no home, no car, living in a hotel for the past 3 months. What do I have to hide? I mean, you guys should see it back there. That's the other apartment complex that's across the lake from over here. You saw my cat, right? This is the air conditioner right here that I'm in front of. I had to move this whole thing to go do this stuff. There's my little calendar right there, July 11th, Saturday. 7-Eleven, go get your free Slurpee if it's not too late. If it's still 7-Eleven for you. This could also be God's about to contact you. The angels are trying to get your attention. You could be having an epiphany. You could be having a spiritual revelation. Any of the archangels that I tapped into in this live stream could be contacting you. Could be anybody. Doesn't have to be a real person. What did I say at the beginning? It's like you never know who's watching, because someone could be watching what you do, even if no one else is watching, but somebody will come across something and they're like, let me go contact you. Look what's after that card. Walk away from this. You need to walk away from being perfect. You need to walk away from trying to be good to everybody else but yourself. You need to walk away from like, yeah, my manifestation is super close, but are you aligned with it? You need to walk away from what doesn't serve you. Maybe you need to contact somebody so they can help you walk away from something, someone, whatever that is. You know what that is. Top of the deck. Yeah, they do love you. That is so funny, because with that person on that video that I talked about, she was all mad. And God said, hey, I told you to leave for a reason. I told you to stop doing tarot for a reason. I told you to leave 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗶 Wellness. I worked so fucking hard on that website, that channel, that business, my services with clients, every fucking thing. But God said, walk away. God contacted me. The angels contacted me. I got signs, synchronicities. God said, walk away. And it's funny because I was thinking, do these people really care about what I do for them? Being of service to the collective? Are they really valuing my content, my work? Are they still pissed at me for something? Right? Because I know I ruffled a lot of people's feathers. That's who I am. But it's to teach them, not to hurt them. There's a difference there. People are going to love you for not being perfect. People are going to love you for not having everything in like human order, because divine order is a different thing. Divine order is imperfection, is what I just heard. Be your authentic self. Stop judging. Have compassion for yourself and for others. Stop trying to be perfect. No one is perfect. People would better align with you and understand you and love you for who you are if you are just stop acting like your inauthentic self and stop trying to attain this. That's not your end goal. The same thing with your projects, your businesses, your creations, right? It's like I was doing the bracelet stuff and putting them on my website, and I was just like, why am I getting so caught up in this? The reel that I put up on Instagram, right? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have this big old thing. I just got to get it out there. Just get it out there. You also have to love yourself first. Be honest. Go reach out and touch someone. Someone may be contacting you about like, hey, you know, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I'm not perfect or whatever. There's strong forgiveness energy here. You may need to contact someone. It's like, you know, I do love you. No, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm trying to be perfect. I'm trying to have all my ducks in a row. I'm trying to have this, whatever, right? Could be, you know, your YouTube channel, social media, could be anything. Your creative projects, your business things, whatever. The life that you're living, you're trying to have everyone think that your life is okay. When it's not, it's okay to not be okay. If people cannot love you for who you are, love the imperfections, love the flaws, warts and all, they still need to do a lot of work on themselves, because you know what that means? They don't love themselves. They're projecting their hatred of themselves, their dislike in themselves, their unbelief in themselves onto you. Which means in turn, they don't unconditionally love themselves. So how are they going to unconditionally love other people, including you? It's time to reap what you've sown. Expect miracles. That's underneath the They Do Love You card. Okay? 111 on the clock. And so with that, I will leave you. I love you guys with the love of Christ. Have a wonderful rest of your July. Bye.